Good evening to all the students and participants who have joined the webinar. Thank you for making time and joining today's webinar on the 60 hours placement program. And we shall commence this program from tomorrow. And so, this is the last webinar of the subject that we are going to have today, because from tomorrow we will actually get into a total schedule of classes. I have published the schedule of classes, and we shall start tomorrow from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Those of you who have registered, thank you for joining. And those of you who would like to get into the introductory class tomorrow, I will share a form with you. You can fill up, and you're most welcome to join the class tomorrow to see how the classes are going to happen, because the webinar and the classes are a little bit different. In the classes, you will be definitely allowed to turn on your camera, switch on your mic, and ask questions, discuss with the faculty, which is not possible in the webinar format. So, once again, a warm welcome to all of you. My name is Ranjan Kumar Majumdar, and I am the founder and managing director of our company, Constellation Training and Placement Services. As you can see on the slide, I am an engineer from IIT Kharagpur and a MBA from IIM Calcutta, and I have a total work experience of more than 30 years. Out of 17 years, I have spent with Tata Consultancy Services. I've worked in manufacturing, IT, and for the last 12 years, I've been working in the education sector. The areas is, of course, that I manage Constellation and all its activities, and I take serious interest in students on their career guidance and soft skills courses. I shall be taking some of the soft skills classes within the 60-hour program. Let me go ahead and welcome Mr. Vivek Kumar, who is our faculty for today. Uh, Vivek sir, as we call him, is our IT mentor and trainer. He is the person behind all our IT courses and related topics. Vivek sir is a engineer from BIT Sindri. For the 13 years he has been with the industry. He takes a lot of interest in training, course development, delivery of IT courses. And in the industry, he has been through being a developer, project lead, and in the organization, he has also been a trainer. As I mentioned, he's an IT industry expert and an important member of the Constellation family. The areas of his expertise is C, C++, Java, Python, data structure, all that is very necessary for uh, placement oriented preparation. And experience wise, he has worked with TCS, White Hat Junior, Code Vidya, and An Academy. Welcome, Vivek, sir. So, before I hand it over to Vivek, sir, let me quickly take you through uh, Constellation, what we are, and also about the course. So, we were formed in the year 2011 by people from academics and professionals from the industries, and most of us have a background in the IITs and IIMs of this country. We are based in Kolkata, and we work throughout India. We work directly with colleges, and we also work with students like you, professionals like you. We help in terms of building your careers, helping you get placed, helping you prepare for your placements. And the placement season for final year students has already commenced. Companies have started to come to the campus. Very soon, we will see off campus drives happening. And for those of you, especially who are getting into the IT industry, who would like to get into IT industry, this particular course covers a very important aspect of that, and that is IT coding. Let me come to that. Before that, let me tell you that the areas we work or Constellation works are college training. So we train students of colleges. Uh, we carry out a lot of assessments. We also train corporate people, so we go to companies and train their people. We are also a placement house, so we are a placement agency. We um, provide jobs to candidates, and our clients in this case are the companies, and we are also in the advisory and business consulting area. So these are the four broad areas in which our companies work. So today my focus will be on college training and assessments. This is in totality, a glimpse of our services for college students. These are all placement oriented courses, as I mentioned to you, that Constellation focuses on placement oriented courses for students who are seeking jobs. So it is aptitude test preparation, coding oriented IT courses, soft skills, communicative English. We have a tie up with Cambridge Learning, and we teach English also to students who face issues with the language, and we carry out a lot of assessments. So we do assessments of aptitude test, coding test, English test. We have these assessments. In fact, you can go into our courses and take our free assessments on aptitude test preparation and coding. Our courses are all digitalized, so they are on our learning management system on the platform. And even within this course, we are going to give you access to a number of courses. So I'll come to that. This is a list of our clients or the universities and colleges where we have worked. Um, we have worked at around 28 colleges, and we would have touched the lives of more than 25,000 students in this last 12 years, helping them with their placement preparation, getting jobs, and also the professionals with whom we have worked. Now let me come to 60 hours placement preparation program, which we are going to start tomorrow. Very, very focused program for helping students getting placements in this current placement season. We aim to assist students with their placement preparation. That is the objective. It is a rapid program to get ready for the placement season. It's a very rapid program. We'll start tomorrow, and we wish to complete it within 3 months, but not even 3 months, you can say about 2.5 months. Very rigorous, comprehensive program focused on solving coding problems. This particular course is very much geared to getting a job in IT companies. So we will focus on actually solving problems in coding, and the kind of coding problems which are asked by the MNC or the leading IT companies in the country. And beyond that, we shall have packages on aptitude tests and soft skills. So, students, as you know, that once your CV gets shortlisted, usually the first gate is the aptitude test. So, what we shall be doing is we shall give you 5 question papers. We are not going to teach you the subjects, but we shall give you access to our aptitude test portal, where you can access our course material, where you can take the test. There are more than 3,500 questions, or about 4,000 questions, and you can take the test and you can study from there. So, that is a portal we'll open to you. We will teach you coding. We will use Java to teach you the coding, but we will point out how the same code can be um, developed in C, C++, and Python. We shall give you the coding course on our platform. For Java, if you want any other course like Python, C, C++, most welcome. Let us know. We will open that course to you. We shall also give you the soft skills course on our platform, and Another very important is we will open the coding editor for you. So as I said that we are a company which takes lots of assessments, and one is the coding assessment. So we use a coding platform, and in this coding platform you have many questions, and we will set up those questions for you. So whatever we do in the class, we shall solve something like 40 to 50 questions in the class problems. We shall do that in class, but beyond that you can use our coding editor and work on more than 100 problems. So in this period of time we shall aim to provide you with 150 absolutely top class problems, which are the similar kind of problems asked in the coding tests. And we offer a blend of all three to provide a holistic preparation for your place. We hope that this will really, really help you in your placement preparation. And I wish that all of you are successful in getting your dream jobs. What are the salient features? It is effective for students wanting to qualify for jobs in the IT sector. Coding oriented IT focused course to help students master coding. Uh, we just completed a Accenture mock test. We shall provide that in the portal very soon, and you can take that for a small price. So, uh, and we found that many students who took the test are unable to code. So 45 minutes, two coding problems. That is what the Accenture people are asking, other than cognitive tests and technical tests. So many students do well in cognitive tests, technical tests. So fine. They can qualify, but when it comes to the coding tests, and I'm taking one example for a company like Accenture, 45 minutes, two tests, two coding problems, people are unable to solve. So that is what we are going to emphasize. That is what we shall solve, about 40 to 50 problems in class with you, and so that you get the habit and the confidence in actual coding. Continuous assessment to check progress. We shall carry out continuous assessment, as I said, on our editor. On aptitude test, we will give you 5 assessments, and we shall discuss the problems. So you take the assessments, and in the next class, we shall actually discuss the problems. So we will cover around 250 such questions of aptitude tests, and there will be 10 hours of soft skills classes. And as I mentioned, access to our course repository on the 3 subject areas, that is aptitude tests, coding course, our soft skills course, and as well as the coding editor. Once you are completed, we will give you a certificate on completion, and the results, with your permission, we will share it with the network of companies with whom we work. As I mentioned to you, we are a placement agency. We will share your results with them, and you can participate in their placement drive. So what we are not promising is that we will give you placements. What we are promising you, the course results, etc., we will share it with companies which are within our network. Registration has already started. I shall provide you with the link which is there. So you can visit the course, you can make the payment. Classes actually start tomorrow. Tomorrow, 1st September, 8 p.m. onwards, we shall have the classes. I have already provided the schedule. There are 3 classes per week because we want to wrap up fast and make you ready for your placements. So 3 months duration, but as I said, we will try to wrap it up within 2.5 months. 3 to 4 times per week we will have classes. Currently, it is 3 times, 2 hour sessions in the evenings, 8 to 10 p.m. And interestingly, all these are going to get recorded and put on the learning management system. So if you miss a class, you always have the backup of recording. Certificate of completion, we will provide to all the participants of the program. And the cost of the program, which says rupees 4,000, currently at a discounted rate of rupees 3,000 only. So, students, what I'm trying to say, at 3,000, you're getting 60 hours of classes, complete preparation for your placements, as well as access to 4 of our system aptitude tests, Java coding or any other language you want, soft skills, and our coding editor. So, in the chat, we will provide the link for you to visit this particular course and make up your mind to purchase it. As I said in the beginning, that tomorrow's class we are opening it as an introductory class. We have registrations of students, so for them they will start off from tomorrow. For others, you can attend this introductory class, have a feel of it, and if you decide, then please go ahead and make a purchase. Even tomorrow the course fee will be 3000 only. So, coding problems in Java discussion, we will solve the problems in Java, but we will discuss the same problem how to solve in C, C++, Python, 40 hours. Aptitude test preparation, 10 hours. Soft skills, 10 hours. That is how the 60-hour happens. So, with that, students, participants, I would like to thank all of you. And at this point of time, I shall hand it over to Vivek sir, and for him to take us through the world of coding. So Vivek sir is going to actually uh, code and solve problems for you so that you learn and also you get an idea. And students, tomorrow onwards, we will not do these webinars. We have done 4 webinars. So thank you so much for attending these webinars. But from tomorrow, the real action starts. We will have live classes on the platform. Over to you, Vivek sir.
Thank you, sir. So, good evening, students. I hope you all are doing good. Sorry that my camera is not working. I was really working hard on that, but couldn't make it work. So, I'll be like off camera. You can just see the image that is there. Okay, so on that note, as I already mentioned about, so let me share my screen and then we will go ahead and talk about it. Okay, so yeah, I hope all of you can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir, your
Yes,
screen is visible.
awesome. Right. So sir already talked about the 60-hour placement preparation course that we are having, right? And what I'm here for is like, to tell you about that the majority of the component that we are going to discuss on this, which is all about the coding, right? So we are going to cover 40 hours of coding in that, right? 40 hours of coding is going to get covered in that in 60 hours placement, and it is going to be based on Java, right? And the discussion, as I mentioned, is going to happen on C, C++, and Python. And this course is not like any other course that you will see in YouTube or like for any other organization that you might have come across. It is mostly based on problem solving, right? It is mostly based on problem solving. So we have published the agenda and everything in the website. Whenever you get some time, you can have a look and feel about that, at what topics we are going to cover. And whatever topic we are going to cover, it is going to we are going to start with a problem solving on that. And today in this webinar, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you some of the questions, right? And a similar kind of question is going to get solved over there in the editor. Will be showing it to you. Okay, so without wasting any more time, let's go and check one of the problem that we have. So here is one of first problem that we are having. Okay, you are given an array A of size n. Okay, so the array name is A, the size of the array is n, and an element x. So there are three things that are given to you. What your task is to find the first and the last occurrence of an element x in the array. So you have to find when the element is coming first and when it is coming at the very end. And in case if it is not present, if x is not present in the array, then you should return -1 for both the first and the last occurrences. This is what you need to do. The question seems to be simple, but if you look at at a glance, you see like it's more than a paragraph, and there are so many things. There is an input format. What is the input format? The input format says like the first line contains two space separated integers and nx. So you have to enter in the first line two integers. The first is going to be the number of element. N is what? N is the size of the array. So you have to enter what is the size of the array, and then x will be the element that you want to search for. And in the second line, you are going to enter all those n integers separated by spaces to make your array. Okay, and the output format is going to be, if x is present, then you have to print the first and the last occurrences separated by space. If it is not present, then you have to print -1 and -1. There are certain constraints, like that 1 is less than n, and n is less than 10 to the power 5, like that. There is some constraint which is given over here. Okay, if I show you a kind of an input format, like what is the input format, an example of that, this is what it looks like. Okay, so in the first line, what you are entering is that 7 and 5. So what is 7? 7 is the number of element. This 7 is your n, and 5 is your element to be searched, that what you are searching for. This is the element that you are searching for, and this is your x. Now in the second line, what you are entering is that you are entering 7 elements: 1, 2, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5. These are the 7 elements: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you are searching for 5. So 5 first occurrence is over here, and the last occurrence is over here. So you see what is the output format we are having: 3 and 7. Why 3? Because it is not asking you for the array position, it is asking you for the occurrence. So although the array position is like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but since it is the actual, it is asking you the occurrence, so you'll be saying like 3 and 7. You will have to add +1 to the array index, right? I'm kind of assuming that you all are aware of little bit of array, what is array, how array works, the indexing of the array, right? This is one of the example. Now, if you look at the second example, what do we have is that in the second example, if you look carefully, we have 5 comma 10, 5 space 10. So 5 is your n, which is the number of element. 10 is the element to be searched, which is x, and then you are entering 5 elements. What are those? 7, 3, 5, 2, 1. Okay, 7, 3, 5, 2, 1. Now in this, do you have 10 anywhere? You do not have 10 anywhere, right? Neither here, nor here, nor here, nor here, nor here. So what is the output? The output is -1 and -1. Okay, now before I go ahead and start writing the code, I just want to have a quick discussion with all of you. Are you guys clear with the question that what we have? Any confusion around that? I'm looking at the chat box just to see your responses. How do you feel about it? What is the right approach? What should we do? What is the first thing we should be doing? Anyone? I don't see a response in the chat. See, if you are here just for like, you will see and you will go, then it is not going to help you guys, believe me. Right? It is not going to help you. But if you'll interact, if you'll share your like understanding or your doubts, right, then you will get something out of that. Otherwise, it is just going to be like, one of those videos that you are coming across, which is not going to add a value. Right? So if a little bit of interaction can happen, that will be really helpful. I'm just looking at the chat once again just to see, like, do we have something now? I don't find anything. So you just want me to go ahead and type the code. This is what you want me to do? I can do that, not an issue with that either. Okay, no problem. So in that case, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use a coding editor called VS Code, and in that I'm going to write the code. I'm kind of again assuming that you all are aware of what is VS Code, because you guys are not responding, so everything is going to work based on assumptions, right? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add a file over here, and I'm going to write uh, first and last occurrence. Okay, this is what I'm going to write. That's the file name that I'm giving, first and last occurrence.java. The moment I gave it, you see in VS Code what happens is that the class automatically got created. Now what do I need to do is that I need to go ahead and start writing the rest of the code. But before that, I will, since there is a user input involved, so what I need to do is that I need to import the scanner class, right? So import java.utility util dot scanner. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, that's what I want to have. So now that I have it, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna create the main class, because I do not have the main class over here. So public static void main. The best thing about VS Code is that it gives you suggestion. I'm gonna increase the font so that you all can see what I'm writing. Okay, the public static void main string asks again, since there are no responses coming, I'm again kind of assuming that you know all of these things. Right. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to create an object of the scanner class, because the moment if you want to have a object, if you want to take user input in Java, you need to have this. Okay, new scanner system dot not system dot in. Okay, that's what I want to have. I'll put a semicolon. So now we are good with that part. Now here I'm ready with to take the input. So as the question said, what I need to do is that I need to take the user input in the first line, which is going to be all about like two input. The first is going to be the size of the array, and then it is going to be the element that I need to search for. So the first int n equal to, this is going to store the number of element that my array will have. So int n equal to sc dot next int. This is what we will be having. Okay, and then again I'll be having another variable int x, and that is going to be sc dot next end. This is going to store what? This is going to store my, this is going to store the element that I want to search for. Okay, and then now that I have the number of array and the element that I'm looking for, it's time for me to initialize the array. So int array symbol, and then arr, which is a variable for array, equal to new int, and then the array symbol. Okay, so far we are good. Okay, so far we are good. Here I need to provide the size, and the size is n. So I wrote n over there. Now what do I need to do? So now I need to take the user input for the array, and for that we know that if you are taking user input for the array, then what you need to do is that you need to run a for loop. So that's what I'll be doing. For int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Okay, just a wrong bracket placement. So let me just put the bracket over here, remove it from here. Now we are good. I'll press enter. So now over here, what do I need to do is that I have to read the array, right? So here it is going to be arr of I equals to sc dot next end. This is what it is gonna be. Okay, and I'll come out of this for loop. So now I have all the input. I have the size of the array. I have the element that I'm looking for. I have the entire array with me as well, right? Now my task is start, that I need to find the first occurrence and the last occurrence in this array. So I need to define couple of variables again. So int first equal to -1. That's what I'm gonna do, and last equal to -1. The initialization I'm making it as -1. In case I do not find it, this is what I'm gonna print: -1, -1. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is that again I'll be starting a for loop. So for int I equals to 0, I less than n, and then I plus plus. Okay. In this, what I need to look for is that I need to keep matching every array element with the element x that I have. And if they are matching, right, then I need to update the value of first and last. Okay, so what I'll do is that if array of I is equal to x, if the array element is equal to the element that I'm looking for, again over here I'll have one other if, and if first is equal to -1, if the value of first is equal to -1, then what I'll do is that first equal to I plus 1. What this will do is that whichever index I'm finding the array, whichever index I'm finding the element, I'm adding 1 to that, and that I'm assigning to first. So if in case I'm finding it to the third index, it will become 4 over here. Okay, for the first occurrence. Then I'll come out of it. Okay, and over here after the second if condition, I'm coming out, and here I'm simply writing last equal to I plus 1. Okay, because for the last I need to go till the very last. Even there, if there is a repetition, I need to keep on moving. So that's the reason this code is within this line. If you will see, notice here, this code is within this if condition, if array I equal to x. And for this part, for first, it is again there is a if condition where I am looking for, if I have not found any occurrence so far and this is the first occurrence, then only I am updating the value of first. Okay, and at the very end, what I'm gonna do is that once I'm done with all these things, what I'm gonna do is that over here I can just go ahead and print out system.out.println. Okay, system.out.println. Here I can print first and then plus, I'll just put a space and then again last. That's how I'm gonna print it. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Do you think I need to do anything else? Waiting for responses from you guys, just to see if you guys say something. I'm just removing the extra spaces so that you all can see the complete code in a single window. This is how the complete code looks like. you know I'll make it a little small, so over here, or I can just make the font size a little smaller here, like this. So now you can see the complete code. We're starting in the main function, and then within that, this is how we are doing. Okay, let us try and run it and check if everything works or not. So here what I'm doing is that uh, let us check, take few input. So over here I'm gonna put like 7 and 5, and then over here I'm gonna write like 1 2 1 space 2 space 3 space 4 space 5 space 6 space 7, like this. And then what I'm getting is that I'm getting 5 and 5, which is absolutely correct, isn't it? Because 5 is my first occurrence and 5 is also my last occurrence in the fifth position. Maybe if it was not that clear, let me run it once again, okay, and then see. So here we are. Again, I'm entering like 7 and 5, and the element that I'm entering is like 1 space 2 space 5 space 3 space 5 space 4 space 5. Now you see. So now I'm getting 3 and 7. Okay. Now we are having 3 and 7. Why 3? Because 3 is the first occurrence of 5. Here we have, and 7th is the last occurrence of 5. Okay, let us also check it for those things where we do not have any matching, right? So let us run it once again, and here I am having like 5 and space 10, 5 elements, and I'm looking for 10, and it's gonna be 1 2 3 5 6, yeah, 5 elements I have. So you see I'm having -1 -1. Okay, so this is how this code was all about, which was not that tricky. The only tricky part could have been like this condition could have been the tricky part. Rest everything you were aware of, right? It was not something that was coming new to you. The other thing that could have been an issue for you is like the kind of question that we are having over here, the statement. For some of you it might be the first time that you have come across these kind of questions, because normally when you are in the college, or when you are going through a book and trying to read, you come across problem like write a program to input an array of 5 elements, and then you search for an element, user input element, like that. But here you see it is a like a complete problem statement where you have to the input has been already defined, right? And you might say like sir, how does it matter? I can take whatever way I want to take input. Some of you might have this question as well, right? I can write the way I want to take input, rather than reading it with the spaces. I can put enter also, and I can take input. This is how we usually take it. But generally what happens is that companies these days are not asking you to code in your own editor or a generic editor like VS Code editor. What they are doing is that they're asking you to go into a platform where they will have a question and it will have the coding editor next to the question, and then you have to write the code over there, and then you have to abide by the rule of that coding editor. Means if it is asking you to take input in this way, you have to put input in this way only. If it is asking you to take input like the first line will have two space integer, then you have to put two space integer only. The moment you put enter there, your code, even though your logic was right, the code was right, it is not going to execute the program. Okay, and the second problem that we are going to solve is based on that coding editor. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take you to a coding editor which is like CoderByte. This is one of the international coding editor that we are having. Okay, and in these editor what happens is that you see we have a question over here, right? And then you have an editor over here, and then you have the output window. There is no need for you to open your own editor to bring your own editor. And if you look carefully, you see there are a couple of lines of code already given, right? You have the functions already created and you have the main function also there. And in the main function, the function is already called out. You have to put your code over here. It is already mentioned the comment code goes here. And they have also mentioned keep this function call here. You cannot remove this function call. The moment you remove that, you make changes to it, your code will not work. Similarly, if you change the language, you can change the language. And if I select Java, like right now, you will see that for Java also a couple of things will be mentioned over there. You see, right? I'm just going to remove some of the codes that is over here. Okay. And now you see, this is how it looks like. Okay, this is how it looks like. So as I said, like the challenge these days is not about like that how you will be like solving it. It's not about that. The challenge that these days that we are having is all about like the editor is adding some extra challenges to us, and if you are not experienced, if you have not come across these kind of editors, you'll have a tough time trying to understand what it is asking you, right? And in the 60 hour of course that we are talking about, this is one of the exposure that you will get. Okay, you are going to get an exposure for this all. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that let me close that out because this is a problem that we solved in the last class. Okay, so I'm not going to solve the same problem again last webinar, so I'm going to close this out. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to find out the problem that we'll be having today. Okay, so it is going to be the check. Let me refresh it once. Just pair in first reverse. Oh. Okay, so if we are not have finding it, no problem. I can do it really quick. So it was okay. This is one of the problem that we'll be solving, and the other problem that we are going to solve today is going to be letter changes. Okay, letter changes. These are the two problems we'll be solving. So this is our first. This is going to be our first problem. Okay. Yeah. So what is it saying is that have a function string challenge, okay, which is already mentioned over here. Let me change the language to Java first. Okay. So what it is asking you to do is that it is asking you to say is that you have this function already called string challenge, and there is a parameter that is being passed called str. Okay, and what you need to do is that you need to return true if the character a and b are separated by exactly 3 places. So you will write a string in that, and you have to find the position of character A and B, and if the position of them A and B are separated by exactly 3 spaces, then you should return true. Otherwise, you are going to return false. Okay, have a look at the output over here to understand clearly. You see over here, after badly is the input, and there is A and there is B, but the position of A and B is like, A I have over here, and then after 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After 6 letters, I am having B. So that's the reason it is giving you false. But if you look at the other thing, you see over here in the second one, I have LAURA space SOBS. Okay, so if you see A is over here, and then I have a space which is 1, S is second, O is third, and after 3 spaces I have B, and that's the reason it is returning you true. Okay, that's the reason it is returning you true. Okay, so Ayush is saying that please use CPP. So Ayush, like, the course that we are having is based on like Java, so that's the reason I'll be solving it using Java. But if you want to solve it using C++ also, it shouldn't be an issue. Of course, Java offers you large, like, a huge library of member function. That way, it is going to be helpful. But in case you want to use C++ also, there also we can use some of the inbuilt functions for sure. Okay, but for right now, time being, I'm gonna go ahead with Java because that's what this webinar is all about. Okay, so over here, as I said, I'm not gonna make any changes in the main function. But what is happening in the main function? So in the main function, we are creating an object of the scanner object, right? Scanner class, and then we are taking the input and passing it to the main function. That's what passing it to the string challenge function. This is what is happening in the main function. So I'm not going to touch it out. I will directly go over here, string challenge, and I'm going to start typing the code over there. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to declare a variable boolean. Okay, var equal to false. This is going to be, going to tell me whether I have found that exact matching or not. So by default, I'm making it to false. And then what I'll be doing is that, now see, another problem that can happen is like, A and B it is saying, right? A small, B small, right? Let's suppose I'm having something like, a letter which is like A and then C and then D and then E and then B. Also, I have A and B over here separated by exactly 3 spaces, but it might not consider. Why? Because my A is capital and B is small. So it's always a good idea to change the case of the string, because the user might enter the first character of the word capital. It might happen. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to change it to like str equal to, and then str dot lowercase. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, to lowercase. So what will happen now is that the string has been converted to lowercase. Everything is small now. Now I can go ahead and start without thinking much about it. So of course there will be a for loop for int I equal to 0, right? I less than str dot length. Okay, whatever is the length of the character the user is going, -4. Why a -4? Because see, I have to find the between A and B can be the fourth character at max. So that's the reason I'm subtracting 4 from that. I'm subtracting 4 from that. Okay, I'm not going till the very end. I'm subtracting 4 from that, from the array, from the string length, and I'm running a loop till that. Okay. Okay, instead of 0, I have mentioned 9 over here. So I will change it to 0. And now over here, what I'm going to do is that if str.char at, okay, which position? I position is equal to a, and, okay, and str.char at, now you see here what I'm doing, I plus 4. That's the reason I'm running a loop till I minus 4, the length minus 4, because here I'm adding it 4 to that. Okay, equals to b. Then what? If this is the condition, then what should happen? Then the variable will become true. The value of var will become true. Var equal to true. Okay, and I'm gonna break it out. The moment I find it, I'm gonna break the loop. I'm not gonna go ahead any time further, because it is not asking me to find how many we have it. Whether your character has A and B separated by 3 spaces. This is what it is looking for. So the moment I find it, I'm coming out of it. Okay. Now, the second thing, you might feel like, we are good, sir. We can, just run the code and check everything works well or not. But that's not the case, guys. Okay. The challenge here that we are going to have is, see, what if it is like, B I have, and then there after three characters I have A, because it is not giving you like, A should come first and B, then only B should come. That is asking you between A and B, right? So it could be in the reverse order as well. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to copy the same thing, this if condition once again, and I'm going to paste it over here. Okay, and this time what I'll do is that I'll make B over here and A over there. This is what I'm going to do. So this is going to get repeated. Okay, here also I have the same thing. Here also I have added the same thing. The only thing I did is that in the first if condition I was checking A and B. In the second if condition I am checking the occurrence of B first and A later. This is what I am doing. Okay, and then what I'm going to return is that I'm not going to return the string, I'm going to return the variable var in which I have taken the user input. Var. Okay, let us run it once and check whether we are getting the output or not. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to clear the log and I'm going to click on run code, and the input is already given after badly. It should give me like, false. This is what it should give me. So if I run it, I'm getting an error which is like incompatible types boolean cannot be converted to string. Okay, so it is saying that your return type is wrong, because my return type I'm returning var, which is like a boolean variable, but here if you see the function return, I'm having a string. The return type of my function is a string. So what I'll be doing is that I'll not return var over here, I will return var and I'll put something like this. I'll put like ternary condition, okay, var, and then if it is equal to true, then I'm going to return true, else I'm going to return false.
Vivek sir, there are some questions on the chat.
Okay, let me have a look, sir. Okay, so in the second example, why it is not considering the first letter A in that? Okay, that's a good question, right? So for that A, I did not find B, but for the second A, Smithy, I found a B, which is absolutely three spaces later, right? Are you getting it? Like for this, if you want to consider for this A, for the first A that you are having, for this one, I should have a B 1, 2, 3. I should have a B in the spaces part, right? So for this, it is going to be a false. But for the second that I am coming across here, for this one, I am finding an exact B at the right position, and for that reason, I am returning true. For that reason I'm returning true, and that is the reason also why you, if you will notice that, that is the reason I'm having a break statement also. Reason is that, let us suppose the same scenario changes. The same scenario changes in the sense like, it becomes like A space SOBS, and then I'm having A again, and then some letter. Then in that case, for these combination for A and B, I will have a true statement. But for this one, since I do not have any B later, it will become false. And I do not want this false to get considered. That is the reason I am breaking the loop. You see the break statement. Why there is a break statement? For that very purpose, that if you find something at later point of time for which there is no B, you break that. And moreover, the question is not asking you to go till the very end and find how many such occurrences are there. If you have A and B separated by three spaces, you return true. Whether you find it at the very beginning, you find it at the very end, it doesn't matter. Right? So that is the reason we are using that. Now that I have made the changes, if I run the code now, am I getting false now? Let's see. Yes, I'm getting false now. What about for this input which I have? If I copy this input and paste it over here, and then if I try to run the code, will I have true? Yes, I'm having true. Okay. So you might feel like, sir, we are good, right? But there is one more button. If you will notice carefully, there is one more button which says run test cases. So what happens, guys, is that, usually when you are creating a code, right? Like for an example, all of you who are present in this session today, you all know how to find the factorial of a number, right? You all know that, right? Yes or no? In any programming language, C, C++, Java, Python, any programming language, you know, right? But if I ask you to find, if I ask you to write the code, and then if I give you a number 20, and if I ask you to find the factorial of number 20, will your program run? Do you think so? How many of you think, like, your program will give you the correct output if I want to find the factorial of number 20? Okay, let me first Google it out. Okay, factorial of 20, and then see. So this is the number of digit that I'm having. How many digits do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 digits in that. If you're writing a code in C and C or C++, the maximum number of integer, the input that your integer can have is something like minus 32,767 to plus 32,768. That is your range of integer. 32,000, guys, 5 digit, and I'm talking about an output which is 19 digit. Your program will fail. Not only fail, it will fail badly. Okay, it will fail badly. That is the reason, if you will notice, there is a constraint also. Like, if you remember the first problem I had, there was a constraint also that I have mentioned. What is the limit within which you need to make your program run, right? What is the limit? If the limit is like, that your program input cannot have a number which is more than 10 for factorial number, then in that case you should make sure that till 10 you are getting the right factorial of that 10. Otherwise it will not work out. So that is the reason what happens is that all of these editors have something called test cases in them. Okay, and they are hidden. You will not see what is the input, what is the output. It will just run few of them and it will show you. Like, if I run it now, click on this button, you see what happens is I'm running sample test cases, which is the same input that we have. But if you see, notice here carefully, 8 test cases hidden. You will never come to know what was those test cases, whether what was those 8 string, and whether your program was giving you the right input or output or not. You will never come to know about it. And believe me, until and unless you are scoring perfectly in all of the 10 test cases, you will not get a perfect score for this problem. Although you will be happy, like, yeah, whatever input was there, I got the output, but for the rest of the 10 cases, it might fail, and then you will still get a 0 for that, and when you see the result, you will be wondering what happened. Why I got a 0? Because there is a concept of hidden test cases which you are not aware of. Whenever you write a code, you run it for 1, 2, or maybe 3 inputs. That's it, and you feel like, yes, it is going to be valid for anything and everything. But that's not the case. Okay, that's not the case. Okay, so now it is running for 8 hidden test cases, and then once you are good with that, you can click on the submit button. And then you will come to know whether your 10 test cases are it is passing or it is failing. But right now it is not going to tell you. It is just going to tell you, like, for the sample input you are doing perfectly fine, but that does not guarantee you for the rest of the cases whether it will work or not. It does not guarantee on that. Okay, so that was one of the problem. Now let's have a look at the other problem that we have. So the other problem that we are having over here is that, which is all about, have the function string challenge take its str parameter. Again, the same thing, we have a function called string challenge which is having a string parameter. Let me change it to Java first so that we all can clearly see. Yeah, string parameter, and the return type is also string, and it is saying that, and modify it using the following algorithm. You have to modify the string using an algorithm. What you need to do is that replace every letter in the string with the letter following it. So you have to replace every letter with the letter that is following it. Like, C becomes D, Z becomes A. If it is A, it will become Z, Z will become A. And then you capitalize every vowel in this new string. You have to make every vowel capital, like A, E, I, O, U, we'll have to make it capital. Okay? And that's not the only thing, guys. There are a couple of more things that is here. Once your function is working, take the final output string and combine it with your challenge token, both in reverse order separated by a column. Now you might wonder, what is this challenge token? So you know what, guys, companies know, right, that students are these days they are very smart, right? They are really smart. They always come up with something or the other. So what happens, like, some, so let's suppose that there is a exam that you all are attending, and what you did is that all of your friends, you decided to take the exam together in one of the center, and then you sat next to each other, and somehow there is, like, there is no vigilance in that center happening, and you decided that one of the friend will write the code and rest of you will copy. I know not every one of you or all of you are going to copy, but for some of them they do this. They do these kind of things. So now what happens is that companies also know that this cheating can happen. So what they have added is that they have added this token over here, this challenge token, and this challenge token is going to be based on the user ID of each and every individual. So for me this is going to be different. For you it is going to be different, and for every person who is taking this exam, this challenge token is going to be different. Okay, and what you need to do is that you need to include this challenge token in your code, and you have to do something with that. Either you have to add it to your final output in the reverse order, or you have to add it in the very beginning or at the very end, or, like, of each character of them you have to intermix it, right? So now what happens is that your friend got, like, you have to add it in the beginning, you got, like, you have to add it in the end. And in case your friend is not aware of coding, if he types your code, he will not get the correct output. Why? Because his challenge token was different. The question was same. The question was same, but this challenge token was absolutely different. And for that, they are going to feel like, that no, this is wrong. Okay. And you see, there is, like, if you find to copy and paste it also, that also it is going to detect. User cannot easily copy paste a solution found online. The moment you do that, it is going to detect that. So these are the things that is that are coming into coding platform. And if you are not having any experience in any of the platform, it's not going to help you guys. Okay, so are we all clear with this question, or anyone is having any doubt about this question? What you need to do, you need to, like, replace every character with the following character. Of course there are certain condition. If it is a vowel letter, you have to make it capital, right? And then you have to add a challenge token, and then you have to add it to your program. This is what you need to add it in the reverse order. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's go ahead and start writing the code. So I'm not going to make any change in the main function. My main function will remain as it is, nothing to do over there. What I'm going to do is that once I'm here in the string challenge function, I'm going to start creating a string builder. Okay, string builder result equals new string builder. This is what I'm going to do. Okay, and then I'm going to add import. Okay, so these are already there, util.asterisk and io.asterisk. So all the functions I can use without any doubt. And then I will also include my challenge string token challenge. So string challenge token, okay, is equal to, and then I'll copy this challenge token that is going to be unique to me, and then I'm going to put it over here so that I can use it the way it is asking me. So now I have a string builder, I have a challenge token. Now what will I do is that I will start going into that string which is being passed as a parameter, and will start looking at the character and will start replacing with the next one. Okay, so for char c str dot to char array, I'm converting it to a character array. Okay, I'm converting it to a character array, and then what I'm going to do is that over here, if character dot is letter, okay, is letter c, okay, if the letter is a c, sorry, if it is a letter, then what I'm going to do is that char next char, I'm creating another variable equal to, I'm not sure if you, how many of you are going to understand that, but just see, are you understanding what I'm writing over here? char next char equal to char and then c plus 1. Do you know what it is? What is going to happen with that c plus 1? What is the meaning of that? I'm taking the ASCII value and I'm adding I1 to it, and then whatever the ASCII value is, I'm converting it back to a character. Okay, I added a 1 to the ASCII value of that. Like if it is small a, capital, it is going to be 65. I hope you all are aware of ASCII value. ASCII stand for American Standard Code for Information Interchange, right? And for each of the character has a value, like capital A to Z 65 to 92, and then small a to z is having like 97 to 122. This is what it is. In fact, your 0 to 9 also is having an ASCII value. I guess it is what 56 to 64, something like that. I'm not very sure about that, but it was something like that, or 57 to 65 or something. Okay, but every character that you see in the keyboard has a value, corresponding value to it, and this is what I'm doing. I'm adding 1 to that value, so that if it is 65, it becomes 66. 65 was false for A and 66 becomes for B. That's how it is going to change. Okay, so now, is that the only thing I wanted to do? No, that's not the only thing I have done for this thing, this line. I am replacing every letter with the following letter using this line. But then capitalize every vowel in this new string. In the new string, I have to capitalize every vowel. So now I have to check whether that is a capital letter or a small letter. Moreover, moreover, what about this scenario? Z becomes A. The problem is that the small z has the ASCII value of 122. If I add 1 to it, it becomes 123. Now this is not the ASCII value for the small a. So I will be in trouble. I cannot do like this, right? So for that I have to put explicit if condition. And what is that explicit if condition? I'll be putting something like this. If, okay, if c equals to z, okay, if it is equal to z, the value of c was z, then what will I do is that, okay, then I will put next char equals to, I will directly hard code the value. If in any of the scenario, if the c value was z, I'm directly updating it to 1. So although the ASCII value here was 123, that is going to get replaced or overwritten by a. And the same thing I'm going to do with a and z. Okay, sorry, capital Z. If c equals z, okay, let me put a space here. If c equals capital Z, then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put next char equals to capital Z like this. You might see like, sir, why not, bracket? Because if you're writing if condition, so you guys all know that if it is one line of code, after the if, the bracket is not mandatory thing. Okay, that is not a mandatory thing. Okay, now what I need to do? Now I need to check whether a, e, I, o, u is there in that or not. If like if it is a vowel or not. If it is a vowel, I have to change it to a capital letter. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm writing on a, usually what you will do is that you will write like if c equals to a, or equals to I, or equals to e, you will put all those things into a single line, all those if condition separated by or condition or logic, right? I'm not doing like that. I'm using something like this: a, e, I, o, u, all within this, like double quotes, dot character, okay, dot, sorry, dot index of, not character, dot index of, okay, and in that index of next char, what is the next char? The next char is the variable in which I am storing all the things that is greater than equals to 0, which basically says that if any of this is found in this next char, okay, that is what I'm checking with index of is returns you the position of if it is found in that string. That's what I'm trying to check. If it is there, then what I'm going to do is that then I'm putting next char is equal to character dot to uppercase, and then I will change it to next char. Okay, I'm changing it to the capital letter, to uppercase. That's it. Now what will I do is that after this if condition, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to write result. Okay, because I already have a variable called string builder result dot append. In that, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to append the next character. I'm going to enter the character one at a time. Otherwise, for this if condition that I'm starting, okay, the main if, this is the if that I'm talking about. If it is not a letter, then what will I do is that I will directly add as it is. Result dot append. Okay, just add C to it. If it is not a character, if it is a number, just directly add to it. You do not have to follow all the steps. Okay, now you will feel like we are good, we are done, but that's not the case. What we need to do now is that we need to add a couple of more lines, because now the string challenge, token challenge will come into picture. Okay, so I will have another variable over here, string var equal to result dot to a string, convert it to a string first because it is in a string builder. So I'll convert it to a string so that I can add it over there. And then string reversed, okay, output, because that's what it is looking for, is equal to new string builder, new string builder, okay, new string builder. And then I'll pass the variable to that, which is like variable what I have created over here. This is what I'm talking about. This should be capitals S, not small s. Dot reverse dot to string. Okay, so now I have that in the reverse. Now what do I need to do is that I need to reverse the token also. I need to reverse the token also, and then I will add both the things. So whatever variable output I was having, I created a reversed output for that, and then string reversed token equals to the same thing. So I'm not gonna write the whole code. I'm gonna copy it. The only thing will change is the variable. So it is going to be, rather than var, challenge token. That's what it is gonna be. Challenge token dot reverse dot to string. And then what will I do is that I will not return str. I'm gonna return what? I'm gonna return reverse output. Okay. Plus, I'll put a colon in between as they have asked for, and then plus, and then reverse token like this. And now we are good. Okay, now we are good. So now if I run the code and let's see, do I have an error or everything is working fine? So this is the output that I'm getting. Now you have to match it with this output. So it is 3 star PMM FI colon 21C6JFH MBSAI. Seems to be like working fine. Okay, let me run the test cases for both the sample test cases. So it is saying correct and it is saying correct. This is how it is. Again, 8 test cases are hidden. No idea on that part, like what those test cases are gonna be. Okay. Again, if you will notice carefully, like the main part of the problem was not that difficult. You have to replace A with Z and Z with A, or B with C and C with D. That's not the difficult part, guys. They started adding difficulty with this extra statement, and with the challenge token they tried to add little bit more difficulty, and it also became a lengthy. Your program could have been over here itself, but this extra lines of code, whatever you have written, it is just because of that challenge token and that capitalizing it if it is a vowel. Okay, so that's where the companies are going to test you. The companies are going to not only test your logical skill, they are also going to test your patience, right? They're also going to test your patience and whether you are paying attention to detail or not. Most of the times what we come across is that since we conduct assessment in different colleges as well, students have solved the problem but they have only done this part, and then they are coming back and saying that no sir, we did right. You recheck the paper, and then when we recheck the paper and show them, then they say, oh, I missed this part sir, I did not read it. Oh, I did not even pay attention to this one. What it was, it sir, I just read this part and then I went to see the example and my example was perfectly fine. right? You see, there are two output. One is this output, and then there is final output. They look at this output. They do not consider the final output. The final output should match, not the only the output, because your final output is having the challenge token in place. If you do not have this, things will not work out. Okay, so that's how things are going these days. It's all about, like, adding extra difficulties, adding more steps, or at the same time coming up with something or the other. Okay, coming up with something or the other which is always going to, like, come as a surprise to you in case you are not prepared. Okay, so that's all that I have. I'm going to stop my screen share, and now if you have any questions we can answer that. The next 15 minutes is going to be the Q&A session, right? So if you have any technical questions, you can ask me. If you want to know more about the course, you can ask Ranjan sir over here. And what we want all of you to do is that, tomorrow introduction class is absolutely free, guys. Take your time, be a part of it. Okay, just try to see, like, what is happening. If it is feeling good, continue. If it is not feeling good, no problem. Anyway, it is a Sunday, right? Okay, yeah. Over to you, Ranjan sir.
Thank you, Vivek sir, for such an interesting session. And so the problems that we solved, one, Vivek sir used a coding editor, which is commonly available, and the other we used our own editor, and these are the kinds of editors with companies use, and this is of course an American editor, and so we use it, and so this is the kind of editor we will make it available to you for your practices. And in those, when you start solving problems, and this we have seen, especially in colleges where we carry out assessment tests and problem solving, we use this editor. So it makes you very comfortable. So when you are giving a coding test with companies like TCS, Wipro, IBM, Capgemini, Accenture, any of these, Tech Mahindra, HCL, Cognizant. I mean, they use a similar environment. So you become familiar with that environment and you solve these problems. Uh, from tomorrow onwards, we promise that 2 hour classes on coding, we will make sure that we will solve those problems. We will make sure that you understand. Uh, it will be more comfortable for you because you can unmute your mic and ask questions. You can even show yourself on a camera. We would appreciate that. And of course, the chat will be there. The interface will be a bit different and it will be more friendly. On a webinar, that is not possible. So, but what we intend to do, most important is for all our students who are joining our course, make sure that you really become very, very comfortable and confident on coding, and the kind of problems we will take, as I mentioned to you, is going to be similar problems that are asked in coding challenges by companies, and we will solve that. We will go very slow, so wherever you are getting stuck, please ask questions, and we would like to clarify all your doubts. Another important thing is the sessions are going to get recorded, so you can go back and look at the recorded video if you are missing or you want to revise, review. So all that is possible. So I have provided. Okay, let's see. Okay, Reshmi has provided the feedback form as well. Please do so, and we have also provided the form where you can fill it up and say that you are interested to join our introductory class tomorrow. So get a feel, as Vivek sir said, get a feel of the class and get an idea of how things are going to work out. And if it suits you, that yes, this is something you would like to go through, and it will make sense in your preparation and it will help you with your placement preparation, please do join. And we are always there to help you. Any questions, students? Any questions you have? Otherwise, I want to meet all of you tomorrow in the class. really look forward to meeting all of you in the class. We will put you in the course, inside the course, and you will log into our LMS and just click on the live class link for the day, and you will be inside the class. And it is a Zoom interface. Make sure your broadband is good, your connectivity is good, and download Zoom and have it in your system so that you can connect quite easily. When I can get the recorded video. Today's video, if you look at this webinar video, Uttam, give it some time. Usually it takes 2 3 hours for it to process, and you can again go into the webinar and look at the video, right? So, wherever you access the webinar, just go to that same place and access the video. It will show that the video is there. If it is not available in the next 2 3 hours, then wait till tomorrow morning. You will be able to get it. And Uttam, when you join the actual class tomorrow, which is starting at 8 to 10 p.m., 1st of September, there, if you fill up the form, Uttam, and we will give you access to the course. So you're going to be within the course, you have to log into the portal and click on the class link for tomorrow, then you will directly enter the class. And once the class is over, like tomorrow, 2 hours of class is over, same place the video recording is available. Again, it takes 2 to 3 hours. So it's all there. And I really look forward to have all of you in the introductory class. Whether you join us, join the course, don't join the course, that's fine. That's okay. We are there to help you. On our YouTube channel, we give out a lot of free material. Please use them. And all the best to you with your placements, with your career. But do come to the class tomorrow so that we can speak more on this and actually solve quite a number of problems. Any other questions, students, before we can wrap up this session? And once again, thank you for joining. The course not only is going to cover 40 hours of coding problems, but 10 hours we will discuss around 250 questions on aptitude. We'll give you 5 aptitude tests, each aptitude test of 50 questions, 250 questions, which we shall discuss in the class. Okay, and there will be 10 hours of soft skills. I have already, if you're part of our community on WhatsApp, Uttam and Smriti and all of you who have joined the course, if you are part of our WhatsApp community, otherwise we will get your phone number and put you on the WhatsApp community from where you will get all the updates of all our programs. We will do that. Any other questions? If you are not having questions, please do give your feedback or give your option whether you would like to join the free first introductory class for our 60-hour placement program tomorrow, 8 to 10 p.m. We have kept the timing as such so that complete your day's work, travel back home, have your dinner, relax, and from 8 to 10 p.m. we shall do the classes and the videos are going to be available. Along with that, you will have access to all our systems, aptitude tests, soft skills, our coding oriented Java course, and the coding editor which Vivek sir used and shown it to you. We will give you that editor in which you can practice, and this is the same kind of editor which companies use for carrying out their coding tests. So, with those words, students, good night. Wish you all the best. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. Thank you, Smriti. Welcome.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Vivek sir.
Thank you, sir.
We'll close this session for now.